Okay, here's a slightly different problem. So we're going to write code that prompts users to enter 20 names and 20 marks for pupils, 1 mark for each pupil. Store these in arrays, output the name of the pupil with the highest mark. Assume that there are no ties, and we're going to use a for loop. So first of all, we start off and we're going to give ourselves a names array, square bracket, 20 elements, and then we're going to give ourselves a marks array, square bracket, 20 elements, and we're going to use a for loop for index is assign the value of 1 to 20, and now we're going to outdent over here. And what are we going to do? We need to get the name, so let's prompt for the data, output enter name. We're going to enter that into the names array, names, and we place index in here, and is assigned the value of input, so whatever the user types, and we're going to do the same thing, output enter mark. So this is going to be for the same person because the index is going to start at 1, so for the first person, so marks index is assigned the value of input. So if the index is 1, you get the name of the first person and the mark of the first person. So we're going to we do have calculations now. So we're going to store these in an array. We've done that, and we have to output the name of the pupil with the highest mark. So therefore we have to do a calculation for the highest mark. So we're going to ask ourselves, if marks index, if the current mark is greater than the highest mark, then, okay, so we have a new highest mark. Now we don't have to record the highest mark. What we have to do is record the record of the highest mark. The record of the highest mark, and so let's say high mark index is what we need to record. So we're going to have high mark index is the current index. It's assigned the value of the current index, and then we're going to end if. Okay, and so we've got the index of the highest mark, and then what we'll do is we'll come back up here and we'll initialize that variable. Highest mark is assigned the value of 0. So when we run through this, any mark that's over 0 is going to be the highest mark, and then if we get a new highest mark that's higher than the first person, so let's say the first person gets a score of 25, that's greater than 0, so that will be the highest mark, so we'll have index 1. But then when person 2 comes along, if they have a highest mark of 50, that's higher than 25, so then we'll get an index of 2 will come to this, so we'll know it's the second person. So we've done this, and now we come over here and we end our for loop, and we don't have to do totals or anything, no. We end our for loop, so we come back over here and we do next index. That will increment the index and go through 1 to 20. So then what we need to do is we just output person with highest mark, and we need their name, so we use the names array, but this time what we do is we do high mark index, because that gets that single value from that array, that element. We saved that one here. The highest mark was assigned the value of index when we found it, and it kept overwriting this every time a new high mark came along. So we have the highest mark index. You could trace table this one if you're not clear on what that does, and that answers this question.